No way, bro. No way. Absolutely no way. Are you kidding me? This is what we've been waiting for? At the time of recording this audio, the Ottawa Senators have not yet signed center Shane Pinto. But today, it's yesterday for you, today for me, we had ourselves an article published on sportsnet.ca by Elliotte Friedman going over how the gap has widened between the Sens and Pinto in contract talks. Now, we've been making a few videos the past few days going over hypothetical trades, guys the Ottawa Senators could ship out and move away so they could free up some cap space to sign Pinto, a guy who had 20 goals last year, a guy who's 22 years old, a guy who is a face-off winning center who could become a very capable middle to top six guy in the long term. He's already a pretty alright middle six guy now. I mean, you don't get 20 goals in your rookie NHL season as an early 20-year-old and get away with it unscathed. This is a guy who is a very good young talent. And when it comes to the contract talks with the Sens, a lot of fans are saying, wait a minute, just sign the guy, just pay the guy. Oh wait, you can't pay the guy because you gave up too much money to other guys. So now you gotta trade somebody away. But today, we're talking about the Elliotte Friedman article, that in which highlights what the Ottawa Senators' price really was to Pinto in this situation. Again, article is going to be from yesterday for you. It's today for me. I'm recording this video a day in advance, so if there is a trade and a subsequent Pinto signing between the time I finish recording this audio and the time this video is public on YouTube, then hey, I apologize for that. We'll make another video retconning everything afterwards. Link is also going to be in the description if you want to go ahead and read this Friedman piece on your own time. But Elliotte Friedman, Sportsnet's main guy, goes out there and writes this, that the gulf between the Sens and RFA Pinto has widened this week. According to sources, the player was disappointed with a recent offer in the 1-year, $1 million range. What? Are you kidding me? Okay, look, I get it. You're stuffed to the cap. You are tight to the brim. It's tough to find money. It's tough to free up money. Whatever. But ignoring all of that, just looking at the isolated offer by itself, the Ottawa Senators offered Shane Pinto 1 year, $1 million. Like, bro, you want to go through this entire process of re-signing the guy and having this RFA situation again next year? You don't want to just find a way to free up the money and give this guy what he is worth because the guy was just on his ELC and now you want to give him a pay raise of about $200,000? This guy gets 20 goals at 21 years old in the National Hockey League and he is offered a 1 year, $1 million contract. Like, this just sounds so bizarre, and there have been so many people bringing it up that if they were Shane Pinto, if I was Shane Pinto, I would feel insulted by that. Rather than freeing up money, rather than trading a guy away and giving the guy what he is worth, the Sens just say, hey, okay, here, 1-1. 1 by $1 million. How's this, Shane Pinto? A guy who is a very good, young, talented goal-scoring forward that we want to explore the future with long-term because you're good? Like, the Pinto path has been so great ever since he was a second-round guy drafted in 2019, taken before some players that others thought should have gone ahead of him. There were a few guys taken after Pinto that people were saying, wait a minute, why was that guy available? Why did the Sens take Pinto over that guy? Arthur Kaliev is the one that comes to my mind right away. But ever since his Nodak seasons, Pinto has proved people wrong. He has been a goal-scoring guy, two-way capable guy, face-off winning player, and now he's in the NHL, and you need to re-sign him and you offer him 1 by 1? Okay, let's go out there and continue with what the article says here. Pinto's agent, Louis Gross, and Senators GM Pierre Dorion both declined to comment. The Senators are very tight to the cap and have the collective bargaining hammer in this case, as Pinto did not have the arbitration rights and is not eligible for an offer sheet. They have looked at moving a contract to create cap room, and they seem confident they'll be able to do so once they come to terms with Pinto. Pinto is believed to seeking a salary in the $2.5 million range. He could, in theory, ask for a trade, but those same sources were adamant that that has not happened, and that he prefers to stay in the Sens have made it very clear they want to keep him, because they see his potential. The key thing to remember is one phone call could change everything. Okay, thanks, Friedman. That's always the same advice everybody brings up. Yeah, one phone call can change everything. And I get why they say that. It's because, if this article comes out and then Pinto signs a contract, a minute later there's kind of reinforcement there. But the really good silver lining to this entire situation. Pinto getting asked one by one by Ottawa. The really good part about this is the guy only really wants 2.5. And despite the fact that he was offered such a low-ball contract offer by Ottawa, he still wants to stick around. He's not asking for a trade. He's being patient. He's allowing the Sens to do what they need to do to free up the necessary money. And here's the thing. If Pinto is asking 2.5 and the Sens are offering 1, if you think about it like this is the start of a negotiation, then all of a sudden it becomes a lot easier to stomach what could be the result here. If the contract is at a low of 1 and at a high of 2.5, which Pinto is asking for, if they meet somewhere in the middle, then that's what? $1.7 million a year? Like, that's a really good dollar amount for a guy who got 20 goals. And based off of my regular freaking knowledge on negotiations, that's kind of where things are going to go, right? If they meet in the middle, it's 1.7. If they go a little bit more in Pinto's favor, maybe it's 2 million rather than 2.5 like he's asking for. Even 2.5 mil for a guy that was able to get 20 goals as a 21-year-old player in the NHL, a 21-year-old center, by the way. That's a pretty good dollar amount, so there should be some interest in this type of a deal, in this range, in this dollar amount. The Sens just need to free up that gosh darn money. Trade Mathieu Joseph as soon as you can. I know the guy scored a few goals in the preseason. He's looked pretty good. He looked like the Joseph that was acquired from Tampa Bay 2 years ago. But if he's the main guy that can shoot up his trade value with preseason games and find himself onto another team freeing up his 2.9 mil, then hey, the Sens gotta do it if they believe in Pinto and they want this guy on the team. A 1-by-1 is not going to cut it. By the way, just a quick little aside here, we did read the entire Friedman piece. Like, this is it. This is all that's talked about in this short little update, which is kind of why I feel it's necessary to bring it up. And I guess you could go out there and use this entire conversation as an argument to talk about Pierre Dorian's ineptitude, say, oh yeah, like, all these mistakes Dorian made, all these extra contracts, big money deals, all these other guys that have been signed to bigger dollar amounts that aren't worth it. Pierre Dorian, what are you doing? This team hasn't been close to winning at all, and you're in a cap crunch? Like, circumstantially, this does not look good. At all. And in a vacuum, it looks even worse. Pinto, $1 million offer because you're cap-strapped as the Ottawa Senators? That doesn't sound great, but at the end of the day, Pinto himself has been okay with the situation. He has not asked for a trade via the Elliotte Friedman update from yesterday, or today for me, but yeah. At the very least, there seems to be harmony in this situation where Pinto is allowing the Sens to do what they need to do. But for now, I mean, just on paper, the contract offer does not look great. I mean, the title of this piece from Friedman says that the gap has widened between the Sens and Pinto, so that spells a lot of doom and gloom too. We'll see what happens as the days go on, but for now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the Ottawa Senators and Shane Pinto being this far apart? How Pinto wants 2.5, the Sens are offering 1, the Sens can't trade guys away, but they feel they're gonna be able to do that, they're confident in that, so yeah, we'll see how everything unfolds over the days, but as of right now, things are still at a stalemate. But thoughts in the comment section either way. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.